That's even worse. Sorry. That's even worse. That's even worse.
Wasn't even that time. They didn't do nothing with the American.
Oh, you got it going or what? Alright. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sorry. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Alright, so hadith number 9 in Adab al-Mufrad. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى حدثنا أبو نعيم قال حدثنا سفيان هشام بن عروة عن أبيه. And this is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَاخْفَضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ قال تمتنع من شيء أحباه لا تمتنع من شيء أحباه. That is one of the statements of the Ahl Tafsir. Alright, that's one of the statements of the Mufassirin as far as the meaning of this ayah وَاخْفَضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. So, and it goes back to the meaning of the chapter, and Ilin al-Kalam. So one of the statements of the Ashab al-Tafsir, and Alin janibak lahuma waqda' means what? Show like humility and lowness with them. Instead of like, don't become arrogant with your parents. I mean, like when you talk to them in a very, humble, you show like humility in your speech and softness in your speech, and you don't raise your speech and become arrogant with them. Alright, and because the Jannah al-Insan, the asl of it, Jannah al-Insan is what? Is his hand. So don't raise your hand, put your hands down and don't raise your hands against them. But in this case, it's dealing with also the voice, the hands, or anything that will be showing any type of arrogance or hukuk, disobedience to them. So here in this tafsir, it says, قَالَ لَا تَمْتَنِعْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ أَحَبَّاهُ. Like, don't prevent them from anything that they, don't, refuse to do something that they love that you do. Like, for example, if you know that your mother likes tea every day at Asr, make her tea and prepare the tea for her every day at Asr. Well, I and I don't say, I'm not going to do it, and she can get her own tea, like this type of attitude, which is arrogance and foolishness, which is unfortunately the majority of people today. She can go get it herself, She's got 2 legs and 2 hands, right? I really believe that, but that's the reality of a lot of people today. But it goes also back to Alin Janib Lahum. Be very, very soft with them and be humble and show humility in all your dealings with them. All right. The next chapter number 6. Babu Jaza' al-Walidain.
6 or 5?
It's 6, but because you remember you lost a chapter. Oh. I told you get another book, man. You gotta get another book because he keeps doing the same thing, and I keep reminding him of the same thing because he got the tahqiq of Sheikh al-Albani. So there was one hadith in that whole entire chapter, so he put the chapter at the end of the book. So our chapter 6 is his chapter 5 now because he lost the entire chapter. All right, jaza is what?
Reward.
It's like a recompense for anything, whether it's good or bad. So if you do a bad action, then what's the jaza? Just like punishment, and something bad is going to happen to you. That's your jaza. And if you do something good, then the jaza is something. If you do something good, then your jaza is that you get a reward or something beneficial happens to you. And what about the people that run around to the, and they say, Jazakallah? Is this correct or no? It's not just him, dude. I don't mention this because this is a lot of the people that come from East Asia, they say this a lot. This is probably where he learned it from.
I highly doubt it.
So you cannot say Jazakallah because Jaza, it could be good or it could be bad. So you have to stipulate what the jaza is, Jazakallahu khayran. Because if somebody did something wrong to you and oppressed you in some way, then you can also say, Jazahullahu ma yastahiquhu, or just any Allah yujzihi ma yastahiq, or Allah yujzihi, su amalihi, or whatever, you can make dua against them using the same word, jazat. So, you gotta stipulate with this word whether it's gonna be good or whether it's bad. But if people make that mistake and they say Jazakallah, we don't laugh at them, right, Hamza?
No, we don't.
We don't laugh at them, right? Right, Yusuf, huh?
Yeah.
What should we do to people who laugh at people who do this?
Advise.
Not beat them with a Subway cookie. Alright, I prefer the Subway cookie thing better. It's funnier at least. Alright, so Bab al-Jaza al-Walidain. And basically, it's that al-Jaza here, it means al-Mukafa'a. Al-Mukafa'a. Al-Mukafa'a, so this doesn't mean just a reward here, but it means al-Mukafa'a, it means like you can never give back to your parents what they've given to you. It's impossible. Your mother, she carried you in her womb. Your father worked and supported you from the time that you were like gaga goo all the way up until you went to college and you got married and you left the house. He's supporting you the whole time, buying you clothes and feeding you. So you doing good back to your parents, there's no la yumkin that you could ever like to kafirhum, that you could ever make up for all that they've given you. It's impossible. Because they've been doing it for years and years and years, and night in and night out, losing sleep over you crying at night, and the mother staying up with you all night when you were sick or hungry or whatever. So
I had a nightmare.
Or you had a nightmare, and the parents have to sit with you, even though the father or the mother might have to go to work the next day, or they're busy the next day, but they end up staying up with the kid because of this, cleaning their sheets when they're peeing all over the place. Imagine like all the type of stuff that we did as kids, eating too much candy and throwing up all over the place. Mother's got to clean it all up, Is there any way that we could ever pay our parents back for all that they've done for us? So the only thing that we're, because we know this, and that's why we talk about Bab al-Jaza al-Walidain. It means mukafa'atun. That there's no la imkan that you could ever pay them back for all they've done. But what is matlub from you is to do what? Yeah, show them appreciation, show them respect, and especially as they get into their older age, because as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith that I think we mentioned, at least we talked about 3 or 4 times in Ramadan, he said, رَغِمَ أَنْفَ أَمْرٍ وَاتْ ذُكِرَتْ عِنْدَهُ وَلَمْ يُصَلِّ عَلَيْهِ ثم رغم أنف رجل وات يعني دخل عليه رمضان ثم انسلخ قبل أن يغفر له. And then the last one he said ورغم أنف رجل أدركه والداه يعني الكبر ولم يدخلاه الجنة. They weren't a reason for him going to Jannah. They reached old age in his lifetime. That means that they didn't die early. So both of his parents, they reached old age. And he has all the opportunity now to be kind to them, to be gentle to them, to be humble to them, to try to give back to them everything that they've given to him and done for him. Now it's his turn to take care of them. And if they die, and this was not a cause for him to be entered into Jannah, and this has happened, then the Prophet ﷺ said, رَغِمَ أَنْفُ. So what does that mean, رَغِمَ أَنْفُ?
His face be rubbing with us.
His أنف يعني يلصق بالتراب يعني يلصق أنفه بالتراب. That his nose is like stuck to the dirt, which is a kinaya, or an understanding of it means what?
May he be disgraced.
May he be disgraced, because if his face is covered in dirt, he's disgraced. All right, he's disgraced.
You said المكافأة or المفاكأة؟
المكافأة.
هو سامع الغلط يعني؟
Yeah.
المكافأة.
It comes from the word كافأة يكافئ. مكافأة. It means to give somebody back what they, like if somebody did something good to you, you do something good back to them until you feel like you've done enough good to pay back the good that they've done. Yeah, reciprocate the good, yes. All right. So this is Bab al-Jaza al-Walidain. حدثنا قبيصة here is Ibn Uqba. Ibn Uqba. قال حدثنا سفيان here is سفيان الثوري. عن سهيل بن أبي صالح عن أبيه. Ibn Abi Salih, here Suhail ibn Abi Salih. Abu Salih here is Dhaqwan as-Samman. This is where it says, you don't have to, that's why I told you, gotta get another book. Because I'm here reading the chains and narrations and you're off and, where are you? I don't know where you're at.
I'm reading the comments on the
Yeah. So then the chain of narration is Suhail ibn Abi Salih, so Abu Suhail is Abu Salih. Abu Salih is Dhaqwan ibn As-Samman. Alright, and Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال لا يجزي ولد والده إلا أن يجده مملوكا فيشتريه فيعتقه. So here, Abu Hurairah, he reported that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يجزي ولد والده. And again, we said that the jaza here, it means a mukafa'a. That the son can never ever pay back and give back to the father everything that he's given to him, except under one circumstance. He said, "Illa an yajidahu mamlukan." That the son, he's free, and he finds his father has been caught and held captive and turned off into what?
prison.
And to slavery. He's been made a slave. So he takes his money for yashtariyahu, and he buys his father for irtikahu to set him free, to give his father back his freedom. Just like as the parents now, they brought, obviously Allah gave you life, but they were the cause, right? And Allah brought you into this life through them, as them being the sabab. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was musabbab. So here, now you're giving him back something that was taken away from him, which is what? His freedom, which is his life, Because once you've taken his freedom away, you've basically taken away his life. Because now he doesn't even have the means to act freely. He can't get married except for with the permission of the person that owns him. He can't do anything without the permission. He doesn't even have his own wealth. The money goes to the person that owns him, right? So by at least buying his freedom and freeing him, then that at least kind of like repays him. But in reality, that's still only a small portion, But this is an example that the Prophet ﷺ gave us, like the biggest example of good that you can do to your parents. Other than that, obviously, I don't think any of us will ever be in this circumstance of to do this, right? So that's like, a'udhu billah, because the only type of slavery that exists nowadays is not the type of slavery that you want one of your parents being sent off into, Now, I'm not talking about prison. I'm talking about the other type of, the word that they actually still use the word slavery for. Prison, it's slavery, but they don't use the word slavery. But there's one type of slavery where they still actually use the word slavery. So, by the way, do I have permission to tell people your name? Somebody in the comments on YouTube, he was like, who was the brother telling the eyelash story? We want to put names to the sounds. You go ahead, tell them your name. You can tell them. There you go. Now, Abdul Malik, if you didn't hear it. All right, he's the eyelash guy in the last class.
Anti-eyelash guy.
Oh my God, I'll never look at those eyelashes ever again the same, man. A long time. You're like, what do you really got those things on for, man?
Ever since the last test, whenever I'm in public.
I almost sent you guys the article.
I'll send it, man. I want to see this. Yeah. Send it. Post a link to it on the video, inshallah. What's up?
I was saying is, ever since the brother Abdul Malik told us about the eyelash story, whenever now I've been in public recently and I seen girl makeup, immediately I just think of sihr. Just sihr. I don't even look at it as like, it's just sihr. This is the first thing that comes to my mind, is just sihr.
Yeah.
From the first, yeah.
And it'll make you look at things differently now, huh? So this
I
hadith
just
is
think of
authentic.
magic. Now I just think of black magic when I see it.
Alright, this hadith is authentic. All right, and this is the fact. You know, these are the facts. No matter what you do, you are like the phone kicker over. Anytime that he gets close to that phone, boy, you better watch. You gotta watch it, man. Seriously, yeah, Humpty Dumpty, straight up. Man. All right, the next hadith, hadith number 11. حدثنا آدم قال حدثنا شعبة, and everybody knows Shu'bah man. Yeah, Yusuf. Shu'bah ibn man. We do this like at least every time that we come across Shu'bah's name, which is quite regular, by the way. Shu'bah ibn man, ya Mujahid. Ibn al-Hajjaj.
He said shawarma.
Shawarma, Shu'bah. You hungry? You doing? All right. حدثنا سعيد بن أبي بردة قال سمعت أبي. All right. Sa'id ibn Abi Burda. All right. His father obviously is Abu Burda, and he is the son of Abi Musa al-Ash'ari, because Abu Burda is al-Ash'ari. But so Abu Burda is Ibn Abi Musa al-Ash'ari. سمعت أبي يحدث أنه شهد عمر. So here Abi Burda, Ibn Abi Burda, قال سمعت أبي. Abuhu here is Abu Burda. Alright, so he's not narrating this hadith on Abi Musa, he's narrating it from Ibn Umar. But Abuhu is Abu Burda, is the son of Abi Musa al-Ash'ari. But he's narrating the hadith from Ibn Umar. قال سمعت أبي يحدث أنه شهد ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما ورجل يماني يطوف بالبيت وحمل أمه وراء ظهري ويقول إني لها بعيرها المذلل إذا عذرت ركابها لم أذعري. So here he's reporting that he saw Ibn Umar. Ibn Umar witnessed a man from Yemen, Yamaniyun, yatufu bil bayt. So he's going around the Kaaba, making tawaf around the Kaaba, and he's carrying his mother on his back. All right, and as he's carrying his mother behind his back, on his back, he's reciting this poem as he's going around the Kaaba. He's saying, "Inni laha ba'iraha mudallalu." He said, "I am like her camel. I'm like her camel, mudallalu." Mudallalu is musakharu. Musakhara means what?
Like, being read upon? Right.
Like, under her command, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He uses the word sakhara lakum al-shams wal-qamara da'ibain wa sakhara lakum al-anhar, they like what? Put them all here for your benefit. Like you can use them for your own. So the sun, the moon, the night, the darkness. We can grow vegetables. We can do all this. We can grow our food, and we can, the rain comes down. All of this is for that we see that we benefit from. So he said, "Inni laha ba'iruha." Ba'ir here is a camel. All right. Ba'iruha al-mudallalu. Mudallalu is mukhaddu, as al-khudur. Tadallul is what? Al-khudur. It means to be like low and like just basically I'm at her service. Like whatever she wants me to do, if she tells me to go right, I'll go right. If she tells me to go left, I'll go left. Because I'm just like you said, ba'iraha. I'm her camel. She just rides me and tells me where to go. Either ud'irat rikabuha. Ud'irat, it means khuwifat. Like if something causes it fear. So if the person riding it becomes like scared or something like that for whatever reason, lam ud'ari, I will not become afraid. I will keep moving. So like maybe she might see something or she might get scared of something, but he said lam ud'ari, but I will not be made to be afraid. I will keep going. So if there's whatever's in front of me and she sees something that she's scared of and that she's afraid of, I'll just keep going. Just can take her right through it. She doesn't have anything to worry about. So this is the poem that he's saying as he's taking his mother around the Kaaba. ثم قال يا ابن عمر. And as he's going around doing tawaf, he sees Ibn Umar and he says to Ibn Umar, he says, "Aturani jazaytuha." Do you see that my doing what I'm doing, that I have given back to her all that she's given to me, that I've paid her back? He called Allah. He said, "No." وَلَا بِزَفْرَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. A zafra here means what?
You already explained this.
A nafas.
Nafs.
Yeah, a nafas. Not a nafs.
Yeah, nafs.
A nafas. A nafas, it means to breathe out. To breathe out. So it's mentioned in the Quran, what?
Nafs.
فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ شَقُوا فَفِي النَّارِ what?
Oh, ففي النار
لَهُمْ فِيهَا زَفِيرٌ
وشهيق.
وَشَهِيقٌ.
Oh, so
Sorry.
you're talking about Surah Hud. Oh.
Yeah, so zafir, it means, it has different meanings. And the ayah here, it means salt al-shadid, or salt al-da'if, because of the punishment that they're having. And some of them say that the zafir and the shahiq is the first, the zafir is the first sound of the donkey. When the donkey starts to bray, that annoying, that like nasty noise that the donkey makes, you don't know it. Go to Google, just type in braying of a donkey. The first part of it is really loud. It's really shadid. And then the last part of it, it gets kind of like lows off. So they say that the zafir is like the first sound of the donkey, and the shahiq is the last sound of the donkey, which agrees with the tafsir of the ayat, which is a zafir is a salt al-shadid, which is a strong sound, because they're getting punished in a strong manner, and then they get a lighter punishment and a stronger punishment, and so then they have the salt al-khabif and the salt al-shadid. And then some people say that it's a nafas, like they're breathing in and they breathe out, so they take a break, they get a breath, and then bam, and the punishment comes back on them, and it just keeps going like this over and over and over and over again. But a zafra here is a nafas. All right, huh? But now, man, be a you know how to shut this off.
Shawarma. Allahu Akbar.
Well, you keep saying shawarma.
That's a show. What on?
You know how to cut the.
Wait, you said shawarma.
No. Yeah, when it's finished, because he's going to sleep. Shawarma.
He said shawarma. I heard shawarma.
Where you going to sleep at? Oh my God, you're annoying to wake up, man. All right. وَلَا بِزَفْرَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. So not even with one breath. All right, not even with one breath. ثُمَّ طَافَ ابن عمر فَأَتَى الْمَقَامَ فَصَلَّى رَكْعَتَيْنِ. So then Ibn Umar, he went and he did tawaf around the Kaaba until he finished it, and then he went to the maqam. What is the maqam? The maqam Ibrahim. All right, فَصَلَّى رَكْعَتَيْنِ, because he prayed 2 rak'at behind the maqam. ثُمَّ قَالَ يَا ابن أبي موسى. Ya Ibn Abi Musa. Alright. And it's really, Ibn Abi Musa, because he's the son. So, إِنَّ كُلَّ رَكَعْتَيْنِ تُكَفِّرَانِ مَا أَمَامَهُمَا. He said, every 2 rak'ahs that you pray, تُكَفِّرَانِ مَا أَمَامَهُمَا. They are like an expiation for all the sins that you are going to do in the near future. So every 2 rak'ahs that you pray, تُكَفِّرَانِ مَا أَمَامَهُمَا. But the shahid for the hadith in this chapter is about the jazat, because he's carrying his mother and he's going around, he's carrying on the back, doing tawaf, reciting the poetry, saying it doesn't matter if she gets scared, I'm going to keep moving, and we're going to finish this together. And he's being humble, and he's showing all this type of humility. And then he says, هَا رَأَيْتَنِي جَزَيْتَهَا. He said, لَا وَلَا زَفْرَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. So not even with like one zafra that you even think about, that you paid her back, or you given her back for all that she's done for you. So not even that. You'd have to sit there and, along with her, just imagine how many tawafs you would have to do carrying on the back just to even like really, do something significant as far as paying her back. So long time. So the whole shahid of this is to show what? Humility, humbleness, and know that no matter what you do, and you're never going to be able to do any form of mukafa'ah for your parents and all that they've done for you. So the best thing that you're trying to do is just to try to give them back what they've done to you. Because the thing is like, a jaza'u min jins al-amal, and like the Arab said, a jaza'u min jins al-amal will come out to dinu, what? To them. So a jaza'u min jins al-amal, it means that you get the reward for your actions. So, how you act is what you get back. What you give is what you get. So if you're trying to be in the obedience of your parents and trying to show humility towards your parents, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you with children that obey you and show you that same attitude. But if you're arrogant and you're standoffish with your parents or you're aggressive with your parents, then what happens? Then you end up having kids that do the same, and then you start to realize, oh wow, now I understand like how I was to my parents, because now you start to see your behavior in your own kids, and guess what? You don't like it, do you? You don't like it, So at the same time, sometimes I'm talking to my kids, and alhamdulillah, Allah bless me with beautiful kids, but Esther sometimes he doesn't want to listen. So I tell him, and I get on his case, I'm like, man, why don't you listen? And every time that I tell him this, I say, why he doesn't listen? I say this to myself. I said, because your Lord commands you to do things and you don't listen. Now your son's not listening. And you listen to the things that your Lord tells you to do, and you do the things that you're supposed to do, your son will do the things that he's supposed to do. But you see, that's the whole thing. When the people complain about their children and how they act and how they're disobedient to them, they never ever go back and think like, what? This is for my sins. I'm disobeying Allah. Allah's commanding me to do things, but I don't listen. I disobey and I do what I want to do. So now you see the same behavior in your kids, but you don't like it, and you don't think about it, and you don't ponder why. Okay, the same thing that you don't like in your kids. This is the behavior that you're seeing from your kids. This is the same behavior that you're showing with the Lord that created you, Allah. The Lord is sustainer of the worlds, the ones that's giving you life and giving you vision and giving you everything that you have, but yet you don't listen and you don't pay attention. You know the commands of Allah, but what? Most of the time we just do what we want to do. We don't pay attention, or we get lazy, and then we don't, we don't want to do, we have the energy to do more, but we get lazy. So then we see our kids, tell them wash the dishes, and then he washes the dishes, but he washes the dishes in a like a little half manner, leaving crumbs of like chips of like little pieces of food still stuck on the plate and all that. It's just like your worship with Allah. Allah tells you to do something in a certain manner, and you have the energy to do it, but you just do it what? Half-heartedly. You barely even mawjood to most of the salah. And now you see that same behavior in your kids. And then all of us, it's just as a ummah, we're starting to see this, is that, the people now that look at it, like nobody cares about us. Everybody's insulting the Muslims and acting bad. But then look at how we are with Allah. So we return to Allah, and we return to the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the izzah, that will come back, because the izzah comes from Islam. It doesn't come from anything else. The people always sought that izzah, nowadays the people seek that izzah from what? From being like the kuffar and trying to get close to the kuffar. And so they got the izzah from their college degrees from the universities of the kuffar, or for their nice positions and titles in companies of the kuffar. He's a and you'll see the guy, he's an engineer in America, and he went to school and he became an engineer, became a chiropractor, became a doctor. So now he's Dr. Fulan. And then he looks at a student of knowledge and he's like, these guys, he thinks he's got the arrogance, and he thinks like he's better than him. I'm more educated than you. It's like, dude, you never suffered for your profession. You never put your life on the line for your profession. And you never went through what students of knowledge went through for your profession. So shut up and sit down and humble yourself. But that's what people do. People are arrogant. And then that's why we're in the predicament that we're in. So who said that statement? He said, نحن قوم أعزنا الله بالإسلام فمهما ابتغينا العزة في غيره أذلنا الله. Who said that? Umar ibn Khattab. So he said, نحن قوم, we're a people أعزنا الله بالإسلام. We are a people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given His might and His power and strength through Islam. فَمَهْمَا ابْتَغَيْنَا الْعِزَّةَ فِي غَيْرِهِ. And whenever we search out that same izzah, that same power and might, like these fools, they think that they're going to get power and might by what? Let's participate in the political process. Let's get involved in the government. Let's act all liberal. Let's go, let's work with this group and the rainbow people and the witches and the Christians, and they're all our brothers and sisters, and they're thinking that this is going to give them izzah. And then here you got Umar ibn Khattab, he said what? Whenever we search and try to get that izzah other than Islam, what? أَذَلَّنَ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna, Islam is down.
Like Allah said in Surah Fatih, من كان يريد العزة فإن العزة لله جميعا.
Yes. Yes. It's only from Allah. And it's, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يرفع من يشاء. So and that's that reference is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So but it's only through His obedience. Alright, so now we're done with Adab al-Mufrad now, Bulugh al-Maram, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we stopped on let me see. Hadith. I mean, I can tell you the number, but like I said, I got just so the people can see, I have the Dar al-Salam, Bulugh al-Maram. So if I say the number of hadith, if you have the same Dar al-Salam, then you can follow the numbering. But every single copy of Bulugh al-Maram, the numbering is going to be different. And guess what I just did? Okay, I thought I just lost the page. All right, so in this book, in this edition, it is 967 and 969, because this is the 3 hadiths together. So عن جابر رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا خطب أحدكم المرأة فإن استطاع أن ينظر منها إلى ما يدعوه إلى نكاحها فليفعل. رواه أحمد وأبو داود ورجاله ثقات وصححه الحاكم وله شاهد إن الترمذي والنسائي عن المغيرة وعند ابن ماجه وابن حبان من حديث محمد بن مسلمة. So that's why it's 3 hadiths. Alright. So Jabir radiallahu anhu, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِذَا خَطَبَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَرْأَةَ. So if anybody goes to propose to a woman, فَإِنْ اسْتَطَاعَ أَنْ يَنْظُرَ إِلَيْهَا, and if he's able to look at her, مِنْهَا إِلَى مَا يَدْعُوهُ إِلَى نِكَاحِهَا, if he can look at her and see from whatever from her that would cause him to want to marry her or know that he doesn't want to marry her, so whatever he needs to see, obviously within the confines of the deen. That doesn't mean that she comes out like a bathing suit or something like that. No, I mean, obviously she still has to maintain her modesty, so it doesn't give free rein to any fasiq to just like, hey, lift up everything, I want to see everything, because, we live in different days, akhi, wallahi. And so the people, they don't get this understanding of the interpretation. And we're going to go over exactly, inshallah, what the ulama say about that now, inshallah. So he said, if he's able to look at whatever he can to see, and here, he said, فَنَسْتَطَاعَ. So here it shows what?
Like if he's able to.
So does this show that it's wajib or mustahab?
So it's mustahab.
It's mustahab, it's not wajib. Why? Because he said, فَنَسْتَطَاعَ. Because obviously maybe some of the fathers, they might say no. You marry her, you can look at her later. And this is a lot in Yemen. You see this in Yemen and other countries. You see this, but especially in the villages, the mother goes and sees the girl. And the mother will sit with the girl, and then the mother will come back to the son and tell him, this is what she looks like, this is da-da-da-da-da. And then, so 9 times out of 10, a lot of those guys that get married in the villages and the tribes in Yemen, they don't see their wives before they get married. The mother goes and sits with her, she sits with the parents, and he meets the father, and he gets to see the brothers. I mean, you can kind of, she's got brothers with 3 teeth and, 2 toes, and all her brothers are disformed and all that. You can kind of be like, you know what?
Get an image.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm all right, I'm cool. I think I'll be patient,
After President, we go.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of get, you look at the whole family, especially if she's got a bunch of brothers, you can kind of get a glimpse of okay, the brothers kind of look normal, they look normal, no deformities or nothing like that, so you can kind of get an understanding. But that's obviously the best thing, the best possible scenario is that obviously that you see her before you marry her. Because the same thing, if I were to just say, hey, I have a thobe for sale, but you can't see it until you buy it. Right? Now, most of the people, and I say, but give me the money. And how many throws do you think I'm gonna sell? Probably zero. Unless it's somebody they just want to buy from me just to support me, whatever. Oh, he's got kids and let's just help him out, But I'm telling somebody I got a thobe, but you cannot see the thobe until you buy it. Once you buy it, I give it to you, and it's yours. That's it, khalas, So imagine the majority of people will tell me no. But yet with marriage, they want to do this with their daughters. They want to say, no, you can't see my daughter until after you marry. Yeah, what type of craziness is that? What type of craziness? That's beyond. That's madness, because you don't know. I don't care what description your mother gave. You have an image in your head, and you need to see her before that marriage, before that wedding night. Because if you go to her in the wedding night and she does not fit that image, she's gonna see your reaction. And it's gonna hurt her if your reaction is not what she's expecting. You're like, oh, okay, hi. It's like you're not what I expected. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? But if you already seen her, you already know what you're getting into. Khalas, no, man, that's horrible. That's horrible for the girl. Could you imagine being in her position? And then the guy seeing her for the first time and being like, oh my God, oh no, I don't want you. Actually that killer, man, seriously. Yeah. Or even, she's seen him. Because he comes to the house, she's gonna be at the window doing what girls do, peering out the window. She's seen him 1,000 times. I guarantee you. But him, nah, she's in the house. This is Yemen, right? I don't know what other countries do this, but no, that's crazy actually. That's beyond madness. You should see her first. And you should see whatever you have to see within the confines of the Sharia, that you're allowed to see. And the ulama, they differ in this opinion. So some of them, they say that you can only see what's
Her face.
the face and her hands. Because the face, you can see her beauty. And the hands, you can see
She got mad.
no, you can see her build. And no, because the thing is, if she has real weak hands, real weak bones, that means she's not going to have a lot of babies.
Really?
Yeah, because she's not one of those strong girls. So you see the adults from before, they like those girls with the thick ankles. You see this in the poetry from Ibn Qais, and they like the thick ankles, and but they get skinnier, but then the skinnier at the hips, but they have these thick bones. That's what they used to like, and that's what you see Ibn Qais, he talked about that in his poetry, but we're not going to mess people up. But so that's what they look at. They look at the things because they want to know, all right, how many babies can this woman produce? And she's like one of those she eats like a rabbit. Oh, I just have a chicken Caesar salad for breakfast. She ain't pushing out too many babies. She doesn't have the strength for that. She's weak. You need one of those women that eats asida. Yeah, she makes asida, she eats asida. And one of those women, eats shark meat and stuff like that. Sayadiyah, Zorbian, and kibda for breakfast or something. You need one of those women that work, because those women, they're going to, they could produce mashallah, by the permission of Allah, she can give birth to 10, 12 children. I think my wife's mother, she gave birth to 13 children, and she's still rolling. She's nobody even knows her age. She doesn't even, if we ask her, how old are you? She has no idea. Born in Somalia, in the middle of the desert, grew up herding camels her whole life, and that woman pushed out 12 or 13 children, most of them boys, and raised them all, So you got to look at the woman like her. She's strong. She's strong. She doesn't have that type of attitude of these girls today, these Barbie girls, these Fula dolls,
Wearing butterfly jibs.
And these girls are putting hearts all over their stuff. And these women were strong. They were strong. So that's what you want to look at. You want to look at, because if she's real raqiqa, real fragile and soft. Like I said, you might 3 or 4 children, and she's done. She's done. It's like she's gonna tell you, I don't want any more. She can't take it. Her body's not gonna be able to take it. But you gotta get one of those old school village girls, man. Those old school village girls put the water on their heads and walk through the village. Boy, she'll give you like 15 inshallah by the permission of Allah. And that's why back in those days, if you only had 2, 3 children, they'd be like, is this dude gay or something? It's like, why is he only got, because the women back in those days, they just
wanted.
Yeah, every 9 months, like she's having a baby. Like she has that little break, and then bam, she's pregnant again. That's why you see in Yemen, the children, he's got like 8 children, and they all go down like, like this, and they're literally like, most of them are like a year apart, Some of them not even a year apart because they're born in the same year, but he was born in the beginning of the year, and he was born at the end of the year, SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. Yeah, man. But that's what he's talking about. So some of them, they say that you can only see what? The face and the kaffain. All right, because this way they can see the beauty and they can see the structure of the body of the girl. Like I said, you see the wrist, you see everything, you can see the structure. All right, and here, as I wrote down, this is from Subul al-Salam. Al-Awza'i rahimahullah, he said, ينظر إلى مواضع اللحم. He said he looks at the places of the meat. Like this area, he wants to see like the calves and the areas where there's like, here, like how much meat she has on her body. She's like real thin, like skeleton, or she's like, she's got some meat on them. Because like I said, those real skinny girls, they're 2, 3 maybe, because they're very weak, the girls, they don't eat a lot, so just eat rabbit food. Or eating like Snickers, that's their lunch, like a Snickers bar or something along those lines. What do they drink? Milkshakes now. What is it like?
Shakes, crumble cookies, French fries.
Right, man, you could have like these women here in the West, man, serious. That's why you gotta, like, seriously, man.
Chicken parmesan, once every 5 months.
These girls, man, He's like these little, no. They can't even give birth naturally, most of these girls nowadays, because their bodies are so weak, man. Because all the garbage that they eat so much garbage, And then when they get pregnant, they eat so much more garbage. So here you see the babies are like huge, man. Now what's the average size baby, like the weight of the babies here in America?
8 pounds, right?
Yeah, it's huge. I think like safe, was like 4.5 kilos. It's about the same, it's about 9 pounds. 9 pounds, but it was smaller, it was much smaller. Like these kids here, they come out so fat, man. They come out like, Gaga Google, give me chocolate. He comes out with the candy bar in his hand,
You're gonna make a meme out of that. I mean, seriously.
But seriously, man, these children come out fat. She ain't giving birth to too many children, man, because one, her diet's horrible. Then she eats all that Ben & Jerry's and all that stuff when she's pregnant, and the baby's just like hormoned up, like becoming like a cow in her rahim, in her womb. And then she can't even give birth to him naturally. So then, more than likely, a lot of the women now, they're having a C-section, because that baby's too big to even come out of her. So now, once you have the C-section, you only have maybe 3, at the most 4 children that you can have now. Because you can't keep getting cut open, so you can, like, now they've made it to once you have that C-section, once you have it once, you might still have, I've heard about women in Yemen, they had a C-section, but their second birth was natural. They said, we're never doing that again. But once you have that C-section twice, it's game over, Akhi. It's game over. You gotta get the third one, what?
Another wife.
You gotta get a C-section the third time. Yeah, then you just gotta get another wife, because once she has that third C-section, it's over. She can't. It's too dangerous for her to even have babies, because they're gonna cut her open again. No. And you're putting her into too much harm now. And that's why these kuffar, they do that. That's why they push that whole C-section thing, just to keep the women from having a lot of babies, and to keep the population down. Amongst poor people, of course, because of C-section. The poor people. I don't know, the rich people do this now too, or what? The rich people still have babies. I don't know, do they have babies or they just adopt?
They do, but they schedule
They schedule them.
before their full term because the rich people is concerned about losing their figure. So once the baby is fully developed at 7+ months, they never carry babies to full term. So they'll have a C-section before the baby gets full term because they're concerned about.
Oh, so that's why all these rich kids are stupid as I don't know what.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because they're not even fully developed, and on top of that, they're definitely not.
Right at the point.
They're not breastfed.
Yeah, no. That's
And like, they got breastfed from the Similac company or something like that. So
as soon as they're sure that they're developed enough to do it, they schedule it, they go in and they do it. And that's why those people also have maybe a boy and a girl or whatever they have, and that's it. Because they're concerned about their body, their figure and all that.
So, and the sad thing is the Muslims taking on this type of behavior.
And they believe that not just the full-term baby, but even passing the baby natural, that it's going to destroy their parts.
Yeah, that was a way
Scary.
that they started to convince the man also to agree with the C-section, is by saying that, well, if the baby comes out, it's going to stretch,
It's not going to
you know.
and you're not going to be able to, so for those two reasons, the wealthier people, they opt for that.
C-section.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
Does it really?
it's it's
Is it true?
7 months plus.
I'll let you say.
Just don't do that, man. Like,
No, I'm not thinking.
that's one of the questions that you should ask a woman as a question when you get married. I know, I mean, ask her, like, are you gonna have birth naturally?
You need to know if her mom did so as well. That's something that they do in their family.
Yeah, because
In
that
the generation they're doing that.
messes them up, man. It messes the women up, messes their stomach up, messes everything up, man. It's not good, man. It's not good. It's not good. And they try to scare them. What they do is when they get the women alone, they try to scare them. Like, oh no, your baby is gonna get caught with the umbilical cord. It's gonna, get choked to death, and
Do the jumper. Do the jumper
what I'm
one.
saying, it's like, that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Well, if Allah wrote it to happen, it's gonna happen, whether you do it naturally or you try to pull it out or whatever. It's gonna die, it's gonna die. So Allah was not, like when Mujahid was born, I said, there's no way that this child is gonna live. There's no way he's gonna live. He's not alive right now, because he's asleep, but you know what I'm saying? Like, here he is, 15 years old, What I mean, because he didn't develop, he didn't get a full chance. He's a twin, but he's a late coming twin. He didn't even get the heartbeat until maybe a month after his brother. He was there, you could see the form, but there was no heartbeat. So at first they thought he was just, he's not gonna make it. And then the heartbeat started, boom, boom, and that was it, So he didn't even get a full development even,
How happy were you when you heard? We found out he had his first heartbeat.
Well, when I first found out I had twins, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time trying to feed me and my wife, man. I'm like, oh no. I had to keep reminding myself, man, Allahu Razak, Allahu Razak, Allahu, because I'm just thinking like, oh wow, man. Now we got to buy double the pampers, double the milk, double the everything. Everything that we're going to have to buy is going to be double, 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 double. And that stuff's not cheap in Yemen, man. It's not cheap in Yemen, man. To get all that stuff in Yemen, no, it's not cheap. It's not. So, alhamdulillah, kids came and more money came, so it was easy. Allah makes it easy. And I got nothing to worry about. But, all right, so, that was Al-Za'i, rahimahullah. He said, ينظر إلى مواضع اللحم وقال داوود ينظر إلى جميع بدنها. He said that he looks at the whole, but this is not, obviously he looks at her whole body, but in a state of what? She's clothed. She's clothed, not like he looks at her body, like again, like she's not coming out in a bathing suit and twirling around and it's okay, I'll take her. No, this is not a fashion show. He can look at her and she could wear clothing that's kind of like, I wouldn't say revealing, but maybe more revealing. Like you see like the belt, the girls wear, you can see, like, if she's skinny, if she's fat, if she's, you know, and then you can tell by the bones, the shin, like the ankle bone and the wrist bone, the hands. You can even tell by the face, and like if she's got like a fat face or she's got like a, you know, real skinny face. You know, and you look at these things and you can make a decision based on not only what she looks like now, but what she's going to look like after she has 4, 5, 6 babies. Because the majority of the women, I'm sorry, they're not going to, especially once they start taking care of children, the last thing that they're thinking about is getting on a treadmill or doing like, you know, some type of workout with a medicine ball and a jump rope. So that's just like, you know, that's just the average woman, especially if you get that village woman, she's thinking about working and working and working, you know, so she's not thinking about that. So you just got to look at that and see like, okay, she's already kind of, you know, young, and she's already kind of, you know, chunky, and then you can just add another, what, 50, 60 pounds to that after about 4 or 5 children, and then you can get an idea of what you're looking at, you know. And you look at her mother and you see how prone she is to like, you know, just, you know, blowing up after every single child. So, you know, these things, whatever, like those types of things that you can look at, you can see them with her being fully clothed and in your presence. And once you see the things that you need to see, khalas, that's it. That's it. She leaves, you make your decision, you want her, you don't want her. Yeah, decisions made through the, you know, with the wali. And then she also needs to make her decision if she wants you or she doesn't want you. You know, because it's not just like, you know, it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street, right? So that's what he says, وَإِذَا خَطَبَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَرْأَةَ فَإِنِ اسْتَطَاعَ أَنْ يَنْظُرَ مِنْهَا إِلَى مَا يَدْعُوهُ إِلَى نِكَاحِهَا فَلْيَفْعَلْ. So that's the meaning of that hadith. All right, now the next one. وَلِمُسْلِمٍ عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لرجل تزوج امرأة أن نظرت إليها قال لا قال اذهب فانظر إليها. So here in Muslim, this hadith of Abu Hurairah, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to a man he had just gotten married. And he had already married a woman. All right, لرجل تزوج امرأة. All right, he already married her, but he hasn't been with her yet. And he said, what? He said, أن نظرت إليها, have you seen her yet? He said, no. قال لا قال اذهب فانظر إليها. You know, go to her and see her now. You know, but here he said, قال لرجل تزوج امرأة. So at this time, what?
It's the man who knows.
He hasn't, yeah, but he hadn't seen her at that point. All right, he hadn't seen her, so he said, go see her first. All right, so this also shows istihbab, because he didn't make inkar on him for what? He had already married her without seeing her, right? And he didn't say, oh no, this is not permissible, you have to see her. So he didn't make inkar on the marriage or anything of that nature. So he just said, go look at her, you know, go look at her. All right, and then we'll go over one more hadith. We got time. What time is Salat al-Isha? Anybody know?
9:15.
We'll do one more hadith, inshallah. All right.
Special present.
وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يخطب أحدكم على خطبة أخيه حتى يترك الخاطب قبله أو يأذن له الخاطب متفق عليه واللفظ للبخاري. So this hadith in Ibn Umar رضي الله عنهما, he said قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said لا يخطب أحدكم على خطبة أخيه. So this is a prohibition of a person who goes and like the brother, somebody he knows is going and propose to this girl, and he goes and what? And he goes and tries to propose to her, and he knows that this brother went to try to propose to her. So this is a prohibition for this, and we're gonna go over this.
And that's even what is it called when you pretty much say something like you want to propose to this Muslima, but and you like everybody, all the Muslims, like the community knows that this brother is going.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay. I heard of it already. I just wanted.
Yeah, we're gonna go over issues now. So let me pull this over here. So he said. Alright, so لا يخطب أحدكم على خطبة أخيه, so nobody should go and propose to the girl after his friend, the brother has already proposed to him. حتى يترك الخاطب قبله, until he leaves her. Like he said, I don't want her. So if he says, I don't want her, then you say, well, I'll go try to get her then. You know, you can do that at that point. أو يأذن له الخاطب, or he gives him permission. Hey, if you want to try, try. You know. Alright, so this hadith is muttafaqun alayh, and of course the zahir of the hadith is what? لا يخطب. So this is a nahi, right? And of course we know that the asl of the nahi is what? No, it's tahrim. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تفعل. The asl of it goes back to the foundation principle, which is that nahi is what? For tahrim. Unless you have what?
An exception.
Yeah, if you have something that takes it out of the tahrim. But if all you have is the nahi, if all you have is the, you know, don't do this, then khalas, and then it stays with the nahi, you know, with the tahrim, and it becomes haram. But so some of the ulama, now they differ in this, right? So some of the ulama, they say that it's not for a nahi, that it's for like what? It's like ta'deeb, like you know, don't do this, like you would tell your son, like, you know, don't do something. It's not saying that doing that what he's doing is haram, but you like maybe you're trying to discipline him, you know, huh? Yeah. So some of the ulama say it's for that. Some of the ulama say that there's different stipulations because they go back to the hadith of Fatima bint Qais, and when she was divorced. And I'll read the hadith to you, right? I mean, most of the hadith right now, the hadith part. So in the hadith of Fatima bint Qais, radiallahu anha, she said, قالت فلما حللت, because she had an iddah period, because she got divorced, you know, like, you know, the full divorce three times, you know, batting. So she said, فلما حللت, like when she's going through her waiting period and now she could get married, she said, you know, فلما حللت ذكرت له, and له here goes back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أن معاوية بن أبي سفيان وأبا جهم خطباني. So Muawiyah ibn Sufyan and Abu Jahm, they both came to me and proposed to me. So here in this hadith we have what? Two people proposed to her. Alright. So this is like, and then I'll finish the hadith. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أبو جهم فلا يضع عصاه. He's telling her like, no, Abu Jahm فلا يضع عصاه عن عاتقه. So what does this mean? And لا يضع عصاه عن عاتقه. It means that he doesn't put a stick down, like he's constantly beating women. He's known for beating women. Like his stick, it never gets put down. He's always got it in his hand. He's got it ready to go. So, but this is a nice way of saying that what? He beats women. He's known for not just beating women, but beating, you know, anybody that's under his authority. Like he's just got, this is his problem, right? He said, فَلَا يَضَعُ عَصَاهُ عَنْ عَاتِقِهِ وَأَمَّا مُعَاوِيَةَ فَصُعْلُوكَ لَا مَالَ لَهُ. Su'luk in the Arabic language, it means a poor person, a very, very poor person that has nothing, no property, no nothing. All right, and the plural form of su'luk is sa'alik. They use the word su'luk now in sa'alik. In Yemen, they use it to mean like a dude who just runs around in the streets. Huh? Yeah, he has like no shame, he's like a street dude. We call him, like in Yemen they call him su'luk. But the original word of the su'luk in the Arabic language, it means a poor person. And that's why you have the shanfara. Shanfara is a sha'ir from Jahiliyyah. He's from the shu'ara as-sa'alik, because they were from the poor poets. So he was like the king, you know, the king of the shu'ara as-sa'alik. And it's a funny story about Shanfara. Have you ever heard about him? A very interesting story. It'd be so cool if it was true, though. But they said, there's some truth to it. But the story the full story, I doubt very seriously that it's true. But Allah. He said that like his father was killed by a tribe. So he swore an oath. He said, I'm going to kill 100 from their tribe as revenge for my father. So he got to 99 men. He killed the 99th man, and he got killed, and he died. Right? And then as one of the tribe was walking over his body, they're like, huh, look at you. You didn't get it. They kicked him. And when he kicked him, there was like a shred of metal from his armor was out. And when he kicked it, it cut the guy's foot and he got infected and he died. And they said that he got his 100th person after his death. Shanfaro. He's famous for the Lamiyat al-Arab. This is a poem, it's called Lamiyat al-Arab. Very, very beautiful poem. It's a very beautiful poem because he made a poem, it's called Lamiyat al-Arab. This is in Jahiliyyah. And then the Tughra'i, he came along later on, like hundreds of years later, and he made what, the answer to Lamiyat al-Arab, he made Lamiyat al-Ajam. Because Lamiyat al-Arab, the Arab are the people who what?
Do the poetry.
No, the Arabs, that their nasab, it either goes back to Qahtan or it goes back to Adnan. Like they have to have a lineage going back to these people to be considered from the Arabs. If you're not from the Arabs, if you're not from these tribes, then you're what? You're from the Ajam. So because Tughra'i was Ajami, so he said, okay, now I'm going to write a poem that's for us. And he said that's going to be cool, and he called it Lamiyat al-Ajam, which is also a very, very beautiful poem.
So writing poetry haram?
No.
Oh, okay.
Writing rap songs is though. Writing poetry, no, it's perfectly halal. You see, Imam Shafi'i used to write poems. A lot of Abdullah ibn Mubarak used to write poems. Ibn Hazm used to write poems. All of them have books of poetry. Like you have a diwan, an album of poetry, a book of poetry from Abdullah ibn Mubarak, from Imam Shafi'i, and also from Ibn Hazm. So you got a lot of these ulama from before they wrote poems. And even Shanqiti, rahimahullah, was known for writing poems. But his poems were very, very provocative, and he never let anybody read his poetry. He liked to write about, love, and he's like, no, he said, I never want the people to see my poetry because I don't want to be known.
Is it explicit?
Yeah, he's very explicit, according to his son, Allah.
According to who? His son.
Yeah. Shanqiti was very knowledgeable in the Arabic language, so he was able to use words that nobody else. Like Shanqiti, his level of the Arabic language was to the point, I can't remember if it was Bakr Abu Zayd. I can't remember who said the statement about him. But they said, if you ask a Shanqiti about a word in the Arabic language and he says, I don't know it, he said, La tab'ath anhu. He said, don't search for it. Don't even waste your time. If he says, I don't know this word, he said, don't search for it. He said, if you search for it, you just what? But I will tell you this, what he did with his son. This is a story from his son, where he had taken Bidayah wa Nihaya, and he just opened it up and he gave it to his son. And he said, read this page. Bidayah wa Nihaya is not a book of hadith. It's not a book of tafsir. It's a book of history. All right, history. This is the story his son said. So he gave me the book, and he said, read this page. So he read it. He said, read it again. He read it again. He said, read it again. He read it again. He said, why are you still looking at the book? He said, you haven't memorized it yet. He said, yeah, Abi. لو جلست يوم كامل أقرأ لي صفحة لم أكن أحفظها أبدا. It's like, if I were to sit here this whole entire day reading this page, I will never memorize this page. But he said on the third time, he said, what you haven't memorized, why are you still looking at the book? Why are you still looking at the book? Long time. Yeah, man. Beautiful. But back to this now. I don't even know how we got sidetracked.
We went like so much obstacles.
That's the fun about lessons like this, man. You're still gonna get what you gotta get.
Not like
but you get all the side stuff too, No questions on YouTube or nothing?
No, just one solid concept.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, alright, so going back to this issue about that's what we got, because the hadith of Fatima bint Qais was talking about Su'luk, and then I started talking about Shamfara and poetry and all that. But alright, so he said, فَسُعْلُوكٌ لَا مَعْلَ لَهُ إِنْكَحِي أُسَامَةَ بن Zayd. So then he told her to marry Usamah bin Zayd. So the point is that the two people, the shahid of this hadith, and what they use this hadith for evidence for, is that the two men, they came to her and they proposed to her. So here, what are they trying to show by using this hadith?
That the girl can take more than one intention at a time.
That it is permissible. So that the hadith here about, that a person doesn't, يخطب بخطبة أخيه, they're going to say that it's not for what? A tahrim. Alright, and the best answer for this was the answer of Imam Nawawi, rahimahullah, in which he said, well, how do we know that they knew? You understand? Like maybe they didn't know. Like for example, I go and I get engaged I go to propose to a girl, but I don't tell you. So nobody knows. So then you go and you propose to the same girl because you find out she's looking for a husband. Can I get, is he going to fall down to this nahi? No, because he didn't know. He didn't know that I proposed to. So here Imam Nawawi says this is in the issues where you've announced it. You say, I'm going to go and propose to this girl. Because now if I go and tell you, I'm going to propose to her, and then you come behind me and try to propose her, what does that show about you?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, dude, you can't go find your own woman. You know what I'm saying? So it means that you have some bad intentions, right? So, and then this is going to cause a rift between the people. It's going to cause the brotherhood to start to break up. And the whole thing about, this whole issue is about what? Protecting the brotherhood. So you see in the similar hadith of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu, where the Prophet ﷺ said, this hadith is Sahih Muslim, where he said, "La yabi' ahadukum ala bai'i what? Akhihi." That you shouldn't sell after your brother has already finalized. What this means, the bay ala bay akhi al akh, it means what? It means I go up to you and I tell you, look, I have 50 bags of rice, right? And I'm going to give you each bag. I have 50 bags of rice and they're like 40 pounds a piece. I'm going to give them to you for $20 a piece, right? So 50 bags, I'm going to give them to you for $20 a piece. And if you say, okay, tell you, we agree. And we part ways. Now, if we part ways and we've agreed, what?
Done deal.
It's a done deal. It's binding. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, what? Al-ba'i'an bil-khiyar ma lam yatafarraqa. As long as they're, and once they've parted and they're on agreement, then it's binding. We left and we've agreed. I got the 50 bags, $20 or $40 a piece. $20, did I say? $20. That's still too cheap, man. But I'm just giving an example, right? And you say, okay, khalas. That means it's binding on you. Now, as soon as he leaves, here comes Yusuf. How much did he offer you? You tell him, he told me he's got 50 bags for 20. He said, I'll give you 50 bags for $17.50. So now what is he doing?
Same as that.
This is the bay ala bay akhi. So he's trying to undercut. So this is like similar. Like I go and get engaged, I leave, and then here comes Yusuf. Hey, you want me? It's like, Yusuf, you're just doing some evil today, man. Long time. But the thing is, but the same thing is look at the situation of selling. Okay, I agree, all right, with Hamza, but Hamza had already told other people that he was looking for rice. Now, we agreed. I left. Yusuf comes along because he heard him say that he needed rice. Well, Yusuf doesn't know that I made an agreement with Hamza, right? So now he's just coming in like, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. I got 50 bags for $17.50. Now, if Hamza agrees to take those bags from Yusuf, now who's the sinful person now? You are the evil guy, not him, because he didn't know. He didn't know. But so the same thing, like when you go and I talked about getting engaged to the girl. If I don't tell anybody and nobody knows, and then somebody else comes and, proposes to her, I can't be angry. But if I announce it and I say, look, I'm going to go to her, I'm going to try, and everybody knows it. And then you try to do it, and then this is where the tahrim is. And this is haram. This is not permissible. So Imam Nawawi, alhamdulillah, he gave the best answer in that. He said because they probably either one, he said there's one of two possibilities. One, they both came at the same time. So they, and two, the other one didn't know that the other one wanted to propose to her. So if they had known, then the first one that gets there and the other one knows that he's already proposed and he knows about it, then he should wait until what? Yeah, until he says, I don't want her, or she says, I don't want him, or the father, the wali says, I don't want him. whatever the case may be, until its final decision. And some of the ulama, they also say that there's a third statement, which is that it's not muharram, like anybody can go to her and propose until there's what? This is acceptance. And once she's accepted the proposal, stop, it's over. But I still like the explanation of Imam Nawawi, because it's, again, to protect the brotherhood. You know, if I know that one of the brothers proposed to a girl, that's she done. Even if she told him no, even if she said no to him, that's it, akhi, come on, man. There's so many women out there, it's like, you know, women, they come and go. But the brotherhood is like, to protect the brotherhood is the most important thing. And to cause a rift amongst brothers because of a woman, akhi, wallahi, that's the stupidest, especially when the women right now outnumber the men, akhi. There's no point in like me putting myself in a position where he's not going to give salams to me anymore, we're not going to talk, akhi, nah, man, khalas. If he already gone and proposed to that girl, just consider her off limits for the rest of your life. Even if he came to me and said, go ahead, tafadal, akhi, I don't want her, you know. No, I mean, it doesn't make sense, because you don't want anything to come in between you and that person. Shaitan gets in the person's chest. He starts with, with his wasawis. And what did the Prophet ﷺ say about shaitan? He said, in the shaitan way, yajri fi ibn Adam majra dam. He said that the shaitan, he goes through the son of Adam, through the majra of the dam. He goes through him and starts whispering and doing all this stuff and getting in his head. And the next thing you know what? You got all these mashakal that could have been avoided. Nah, if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, and the brother tells you, like, look, man, I didn't know, then khalas, forgive him and let it go, But, all the brotherhood and all that, because we got to pray together. We got to be in the masjid together. And anything like that will cause a rift, and of course, And, before I come here acting stupid, we're going to have to be up in the parking lot fighting together, So that's just the way it's going to go. We can't have these types of problems. These types of problems, and they can be avoided. And not disrespecting women. This is no disrespect to women, but the thing about it is that there are plenty of women. There are plenty of women. There's no point in us causing problems between ourselves because of one woman. Come on, man. I'd rather be single. But I'd rather die single than to have those types of problems. Allah musta'an. And that's not an easy statement, because I love women. That is not an easy statement. I grew up my whole entire life. I love women. There is no sugar in the tank at all. But it's just like, I would rather die single if it's going to cause any type of problem like that. Any questions? You like that old southern, no sugar in the tank, You know what that means?
Like no sweetness in life?
Oh, no. These young bucks today, they don't know those old school southern sayings, You know it. You never heard this before.
And you're coming after me saying, oh, come on, this guy.
Abdul Malik.
Oh, yeah, I know it's you.
What? Come on, explain it. Let the world know.
You ain't gay, right?
Yeah. Like, I ain't got no sweetness.
How'd you identify?
Because that's what, like, we used to say back in the days for the dudes that are gay. Like, he's sweet, man. He's sweet. He's acting sweet, It's a southern thing, right? So, yeah, man. So we say like that, I ain't got no sugar in my tank, man. Allahumma salli ala. Ilahuna subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.